Oh goodness. All right, let's see who joins us. I don't know how long we'll be. I wanted to show you what I'm working on. If you are watching the replay, do hashtag replay. Let me know you're watching. So I'm Josie and I am the owner of Paint Pixie. As you can see, I did not feel like doing my hair today. This is, hi Cheryl, how are you? Yeah, hi Patty. Yeah, this is a lot of reason why I don't go live. I get so lazy. Believe it or not, when you have short hair, you've got to work it, and you know how I like to spike it. And there are just days like today, I'm like, get out of the shower, I'm just gonna let it dry naturally and comb back. And you're not here to see my hair anyway. You're here to hopefully learn something, right? Hey, Danielle. So, I'm so happy you're here. I am, got this huge entertainment center. When I say huge, it's almost 9 feet long. And we've had it now for 17 years. If any of you are familiar with name brand furniture, it's a Drexel Heritage. And at the time, I thought it was still being made in North Carolina. I had no idea that they moved their manufacturing to China, and the quality of it shows. The price tag doesn't. The price tag was still what they probably would have charged, if not more. But you know what? When we moved from Vegas, I would have loved to sell it. It was, this entertainment was in my bedroom, a huge bedroom there. And it housed the TV, and you'll see it later when if I decide I want to go live, but at some point it'll be finished and I'll post a picture, but it's actually really pretty. But, after 17 years, I'm tired of the color. It's in my living room right now in this rental I'm in, because it's so big, there wasn't anywhere to store it other than to use it. So it actually has worked out. It's gonna go in the guest room. I'll have a really big guest room in our house once it's built. So it's going to go in there. And so I thought, you know what? I'm gonna just start painting it and preparing it for that room, because I already know what I want. I wanna use like soft corals and creams, and just that type of thing with a little bit of pop of green. So before I do that, I'm going to show you what my inspiration for my color is, because this decoupage paper is, it's from Prima, and it's more that fabric. It's going to be really easy to apply. It's going to go on the doors of this entertainment center. And it might be hard to see because it's so transparent, but I'll put it up here anyway. So you can see kind of what, if I fold it, maybe you can tell. Here, let me fold it so you can see the colors, but there we go. So these corally colors are my inspiration, and I want a pop of a brighter green. I don't want these muted mossy greens, and I forgot to turn my notifications off. Let me just do that. So I'm actually going to be using key lime pie. There's like these little pops of a brighter green in the stems. So if I use key lime pie and I kind of do the layers with glazed donut and chai latte, it tones it down. And I think it's going to be absolutely beautiful. So earlier today, I started working on one of the door panels. I want to show you what the before looks like, and I don't have the before. You might have seen the picture I posted earlier. This is an insert. The rest of the door is still on the entertainment center. But last year, I actually showed you how to paint and kind of mimic the stain color. And I'm doing that because I'm gonna wash through my paint to give it that chippy look, and I want it to look more like wood. Otherwise, these medallions, they're like the Would You Bend. I got these on Amazon, actually. They were really cheap. but they're natural colors, so you've got to do something with them. So I did is I used my Type-On glue. You can kind of see these white lines. I'm just giving you a little education on this before I start painting, so hopefully I'm not boring you to death. So when these white lines right here, they're my measuring. I want to make sure that I centered this. So I measured from this inside corner to here, and then marked the middle, and I did that all the way around so that I could take my ruler and just make an X. And then what's nice with this medallion, you can see where that white line just falls right into the middle of that right there. So this is the one we'll work on, but let me show you the one that I've been working on. I'm not gonna say it's done. Oh, as a matter of fact, because I just worked on it a little bit more, let me bring you down just so I can show you that once our paint is dry, you can use a damp rag and you can wet distress back through. Now earlier I had done it, and this is after layers and layers of paint, and I'm like, oh my God, Josie, you've got to get this done, because once you have so many layers on, it's going to dry really hard. It's going to be really difficult, and I don't want to use sandpaper. So let me go ahead and hello, everybody. I see you coming on. I know the evening's late, so I don't want to keep you too late. So, well, hold on one sec. I'll just so you can see better. There we go. So I'm not even going to say this is finished, because what will probably happen once I get it on my entertainment center and I'm working the body of that entertainment center, this could be tweaked a little bit, right? But this is the idea that I have. See the really soft colors. Hello, Melinda, or Melissa. I saw Melinda earlier, I thought. So let me bring you down, and then we'll talk about what I use. Before I start painting the other one, I'll talk about what I use to, I'm not going to be able to see you. I don't have my iPad up, so I hope the light's good enough. It's starting to get to be evening here. Anyway, I want to talk about what I use to clean without having to sand my doors. So I've got my damp rag. Like I said, I've got coats and coats of paint. So if I was just doing a couple of layers, it wouldn't be so difficult to wash off. This is not a clay-based paint. I used to use a clay-based paint, and you could wipe that paint off pretty much until you sealed it. You could, when I had my store, I had some that I had painted and never finished, and we're talking 6 months would go by and I could still reactivate it. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It was good for me at the time, but I think I prefer having a stronger paint. So, like I said, I have got, wait until you see the other, how much paint I use on the other panel. So I'm thinking I need to just get this done, because the longer I wait for it to dry, or let it dry rather, the harder it's going to be for me to get all this paint off. Something I could have done is, as I layered, I could go back after it dried and wash, give it that chippy look by washing off some of the paint. Now, I know some people, what is it that they were using? Oh, they'll use like, what do you call it? What do you call that stuff? Steel wool to do their wet sanding. I don't have any steel wool. This is working. It's just a little more elbow grease for me. And like I said, if I didn't want this chippy look, I wouldn't be so concerned in doing it right away. but it's already, with all these layers of paint on here, it's already setting up on me. So that's a good thing. You know, or, oh, I put a nail in the middle to hold that down while it was gluing, but I need to paint that because I just washed off my paint. What I love about this technique too, as I'm washing, I can even see some of the other layers of colors. Ooh, I like that. But I'll go back. I'm going to have to rework that because I can't let that nail head show. And who knows, maybe I'll accent with metallics later on. But I just want you to see the different layers of color, right? And once I think I'm going to wax this piece. Once I wax it, all of this will shine. It'll have a low sheen, beautiful sheen. And you can see where I did do the wet distressing along the edges. See that? I did that earlier today. But these panels don't have as much paint on as the medallion. All right, so back to what we're doing. Prior to putting the medallion on, I want to show you the best product ever. I get this at Home Depot, but you can, I believe, get it at Ace. Unless, years ago, Lowe's didn't carry it. They might be now. But, I've ordered it, I think, off of the Amazon. But what I love about this liquid sandpaper, first of all, it has a pleasant smell. And when you take your rag, your dry rag, and you wipe it, you don't do anything else. You don't rinse it. This is not like TSP. I dislike TSP very much because I've had it react to paint in the far past when I was using that clay-based paint. It would crackle it, and it didn't always work to clean my piece as well because I didn't rinse it. So this, you're going to wipe it on with the rag, and you're just going to leave it. And what happens, it kind of dissolves the finish on the cabinet, and then the paint actually starts to kind of grab into that. All right, so we're going to start, and I have these 3 brushes I want to use. I'm going to use my little Frenchie, my little D, and my Joy brush. And I didn't even realize it till just now. These I have on my website as a set. I believe you get 10% off of whatever, I don't know what the total price is, but if you're interested, I call it the crafter's favorite. So I want, like I said, I really layered this a lot. So I think what we're going to do is kind of concentrate on getting inside the medallion. And I'm going to start off with Candied Papaya, which is our deepest orange. And I already know I'm probably going to have to go back in and rework this middle. Again, that's what I was actually working on before I went live. And then I'm going to use Aperol Spritz, Candied Papaya Aperol Spritz. Sorry, I can't really read your comments. And Chai Latte. But if you have any questions, ask them here. I will try to remember to go back and read everyone's comments. I'm sorry. It probably won't be tonight. I've got a lot to do to prepare for, our event tomorrow. We have our event tomorrow. Super excited. It's called Pixie and Prince. I will be on at, 1:15 Central Standard Time with my project. I am sponsoring the event, which is super exciting. We're going to draw names, 2 names per live. There are going to be 20 presenters, and I'm giving away 2 $25 Paint Pixie gift cards. Digital Decor Designs is co-sponsoring it. She'll be giving away memberships, and throughout the event for 2 days, we will also have discount codes for you to use at checkout Saturday and Sunday. So stay tuned for that tomorrow. Starts at, I believe, 7:45 Central Standard Time. I will this evening need to update because we had some changes, I think, in presenters. So I'll make sure I update everything on the website. So I'm going to kind of leave this right here. I'm going to keep everything damp, my paint damp. And then what I really want to do is I want to start off with Dreamsicle. I have a lot of Dreamsicle, which is good because instead of using a primer, I decided I'll just use the Dreamsicle and do some really light coats of it on the door. Kind of like my base coat. Oh, and I can see here, I decided not to nail this one. I will have to, because I pre-drilled those, I'm going to have to go back and use some spackle. But again, I'm not concerned about any of it because so much can change. And right now for my live, I just want to show you how I blend and layer. More than anything, it's what this live's about. And playing, right? We're going to play in the paint. Now, I'm not going to leave it like this. You know, one thing about paint is a lot of times your finished coat is going to represent whatever your bottom coat looked like. Now, it probably won't make a lot of difference in this case because I'm putting such a light coat on. Let's try to, we'll spread that. So, but I do want to just kind of try to make everything go in a good direction, not just, whoops, left out a spot, not just kind of haphazard. I really don't usually paint that way, haphazardly. I like my paint strokes usually to go the same direction, or I'm going to kind of give it that cross-hatched look. And I'm sorry, I can't, your phone's down, so it looks like you're more watching it anyway, but. Hey, Maddie, how are you? I'm getting all the packages for the mystery challenge on the 19th together to go out on Monday, because I'm going to be going out of town again with Mr. Pixie next week. So I've got to get that package out. I'm going to be sponsoring our mystery challenge for May as well. So I've been busy pouring samples. If you've been reading my posts, we are going to have I'm calling them the Earth Element kits. So I want to put another coat of Dreamsicle. Now, I didn't bring my new dryer out here, so hold on one sec. What you want to do is dry your coats, because if not, there's a chance if it's not dry and you go to put another layer of paint on, you're going to pick up the bottom layer of paint. And that's not good. So I like to build up. Like I said, you see it's thin coats. I will build it up. And we definitely will not get this done tonight. Actually, like I said, I have been working on that other door for hours. Because I'm really picky and I want it to look a certain way. So what happens is I finish a coat and then I step back you know, let it dry, that kind of thing. And then that's when I'm like, okay, now I can see where I need to add some more of this color. Now that the paint is dried, I can see where it's too light or too dark, or not enough of this and that. Okay. Hopefully that's okay. And I do need to make sure I get the edge of the medallion because I'm seeing where I didn't. So you'll be able to see, I am not going to like actually take colors and mix everything I do. And you know this, if you have been following me for a while, I like to blend my colors while they're on my surface. That way I get a little bit of the original color, and then I start creating other colors. So we're gonna dry that again. Just, you can see my fingerprints. All right, this is just my base coat, a light base coat. And then we'll start working in the middle again and kind of work our way out. Okay. Ready? You saw the other door, it will change, right? It's going to go through a lot of changes, but let's just kind of work on the medallion a little bit. Let me wrap up my little D. So what I'm going to do is grab some dreamsicle and some chai latte. And let's just kind of start blending up here. Right? Because that chai latte, and I'm going to use some glazed donut as well, probably later on, because the chai latte will dry darker. Chai latte and glazed donut are my beiges, and they're very similar, but chai is darker. See, so this is kind of like where I could come back once this dries. When I say do my wet distressing, I don't want to wet distress while my paint's wet. I want it to look more chippy, so if I wait until the paint has dried, I can get more of that chippy look. All right, so I told you I used key lime pie. Let's just start layering some green in there. And I am going to use, instead of chai latte, I'm going to use glazed donut with the key lime pie. But, you know, I may not have to do that right away because my chai is still wet, right? And I don't know if you can tell, but I can tell already. And the fact that I didn't change brushes, right? I didn't change brushes. It's already picking up the chai latte, and it is toning down this green, right? Because that's a bright, bright green. It's actually my favorite green. I love key lime pie. So Mr. Pixie's on a fishing trip until tomorrow, and I'm already thinking this is where he works on our dining room table, because this rental is so small. We have a room that's nothing but storage, and then we have a guest room in our room. So there is nowhere for him to set up his computer, and he works on the dining room table till we need it. And I'm already thinking, how am I going to do this with him home? All right. let's go back. See, this is where I'm like, okay, I have to start thinking about what is it that I want to do. So right now what I just did is I'm using my brush. I picked up although it looks more green actually, I picked up some dreamsicle. And this is where you start to kind of lose those brush strokes that you might have seen because your layers are so light. It's like in this third layer. It's really covering very well. And again, we'll just go ahead and keep playing with this. Although it's going to probably, the life of this will change several times before I'm actually finished with it. Like I said, I just really, really wanted you to see the process when you're, my process. It doesn't have to be yours. There are not a whole lot of people, I think, that use multitudes of colors and layer like I do. People I'm finding, are usually afraid. And my thought is there's nothing to be afraid of because it's just paint. It just takes your time. You know, if you're trying to get a project done quickly and you're not sure what you're going to be doing, so, you know, okay, I get it. Maybe you don't want to take the time. But if you have the time to sit and play, it's so much fun. It really is. It's a lot of fun. So this, let me go back up here a little bit. Now, I can already tell I need to be really careful. If I start painting in here, I'm in trouble. I can tell how the paint's drying, and you will learn that over time. If you start going back into it, like I said, you could end up pulling your paint off because what's happening, right, my coats underneath are really thin. So it starts to like reactivate the paint under it, and it wants to pull it all off. And again, you know what? Don't pay attention to the inside of my medallion. This is all going to look a bit different when I'm done, but I just don't know when that point will be. So what I want to do, I want to bring in, again, and this is, what I'm doing is this is for the sake of this live too. I want to bring in the candy papaya and Aperol Spritz into the board, right? Because that's kind of like, and I'm going to use some chai latte. So I don't know if I want that. I probably shouldn't have used, see, now I just did something I didn't do on the other board. I realize that now. I did not use a chai latte. I just used, I'm going to offload that paint. And let me just go through the process I did before. So what I did before is I went ahead and I used the candy papaya, right? What I'm trying to do is kind of establish a darker edge. And then after the candy papaya dried, I thought, that's not exactly the color I wanted. Once I looked at the decoupage paper. And that's when I started adding in the Aperol Spritz. But I'm going to go ahead and use the process that I did on the other panel. Okay. Gotta be careful. So easy to put too much paint on too, right? All right. Okay. So anybody, I know it's a lot later in your neck of the woods. Did you do anything fun this evening? Did you go out? Did you have a date night? So now I'm adding the Aperol Spritz. Yeah, when we have, it's funny, we usually double date. Mr. Pixie and I, when I think about it, we love being with our friends. So we're usually going out with them on a Saturday night. Our friends are out of town though. So Sunday, another friend is having a barbecue at her house, and there's a whole bunch of us. We're doing like a little potluck kind of thing. Everybody brings something. But a whole bunch of us come into that, going to that. So that'll be fun. The weather is beautiful right now. Still in the 70s, so it's not hot. I live in Sedona, Arizona, just for those of you who may not know that. And we don't have those hot temperatures that you get in Phoenix. In the summer, we can have a couple months, July, August maybe, where last summer we did get some hot temperatures. I think there were a couple days I got to 109, but I'd say probably 103 to 105 might be average. But then the temperatures drop into the 70s at night. And that's what we love about Sedona, the weather. When we lived in Las Vegas, Nevada, once it hit those temperatures, it wasn't cooling off at night. It would be in the 90s still. And you just did not want to be outside. All right, so I'm going to come back in. I see I'm going to kind of blend in some chai latte and glazed donut, just a little bit this way, just kind of blend some of that out. And I'm dipping it into both colors. I have them right here side by side. Oh, let me see if I can get that out of here. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of bring it from the edge of the medallion instead of offloading my brush. And we'll see what happens here. Here we go. And then start brushing kind of back into the medallion. And again, actually, this is what takes a lot of time for me, because I want a certain blend. So this is where, you know, during the course of today, I went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with all these colors. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of work on these edges just with the two. You know, it's not that big a deal. I'm coming back in anyway. Okay. Now the chai latte is too dark for me. I want this to have that tan color because there's a lot of it in the paper. But see, I can blend it back in with Dreamsicle. That's what this light color is now. It's Dreamsicle. There we go. So it's crazy. I know that I am So I'm working that to blend it better. It's crazy. I keep going back over, keep changing it, but they're very subtle changes because there's not a whole lot of paint on my brush. So just again, I just kind of want to show you, you know, these are the basic steps. So is it as crazy as it is? I did. See, that other door is going to change a bit. I just noticed something. I don't see. Originally, I did go back in, like just on these edges with the candy papaya. So that's why I said I know it's weird. I just got done covering all that up. But that's to me what it's all about is, see, I see that shadow. I'm going to have to redo that door because I ended up going back over even with the green and this is when, like, using a glaze along the edges would be really good. The problem is glazes take a lot longer to dry. And I was going to use a glaze, but I thought, you know what, I really, really want to continue to work on this. I could use the glaze in the very end, and that's usually what I do, the very end, but so you see the difference, right? You see where I darkened the inside edge. Again, all that's going to change, but I like to make my process the same. Since I'm going to have to try to remember, sometimes I even go back and I look at my lives again so that it refreshes my memory as to what steps I took. I got to remember to leave that alone. All right. So that's really a lot lighter. So let's bring in, what did I do there? Let's bring in some cream puff. Cream puff is our creamy white, but it's going to look a lot lighter. See, so now I'm looking at my door and I'm seeing where, let's use some cream puff and chai latte. Again, this is, you know, just about experimenting. And I'm going to want to come back in, right? Because now it's drying too dark. And for me, it will be important that at least the middles of my door are the same colors, right? I mean, this is art. I will never be able, it's not like applying wallpaper, right? I will never be able to duplicate my doors, but I can certainly go as far as, you know, how light are they or how dark are they so that they don't look mismatched. So again, for demonstration purposes, there we go. I know I'm going to have to go back and read your comments because I can't see them. So let's go back. And again, just because, oh my God, have I been on an hour already? 4 to 5, no, probably half hour. So what I did on the other one, like I said, I went in with some of the green, but let me dry it. I don't want to mix my green and my oranges while they're wet. It'll turn brown. again, like I said, it's just paint, and I can, whoops. I can repaint over everything if I don't like it. So I'm going to soften it with my Joy brush. See, now I'm getting that brightness back that I wanted. I just want a little bit of, right, a touch of bright. See, and I'm actually tamping it pretty hard because I really want it to blend out. So this little Joy brush, honestly, is like one of the best brushes to have. That's why I have it in the Crafter's Favorite kit, even though my crafters don't really use it. I do. Because you can use it even as a stencil brush if you want to wax with it. But, you know, you see what I'm doing. I'm using it as a paintbrush. I'm using it to just soften because, so our brushes are made in Italy and they're really high quality. You can see how dense this little brush is. It's a very small brush. I think it's only measures, I think it measures across in this metal part 3/4 of an inch. So if you're looking to buy any of our brushes, I would definitely suggest the Joy. And one of the reasons it's so dense that what I love about it is you hardly use any paint. When you're, when you dip it into your container, whatever you're going to do, you're just going to dip the very tip. It holds so much paint that you won't need a whole lot. All right. Boy, tonight's going to be a late night. I still have to get a bunch of stuff emailed to my daughter Mio because she is part of the live tomorrow, and I need to email her all the instructions still on what she needs to do. So just because I have it done on the other door, you know what? Let's start working. Let's start working just to kind of cover up the inside of this a little bit. Since I have paint on the tip of that brush. But, you know, it's all going to change, like I said. Alrighty. Just to lighten it a little, and that's almost too light, so I'm going to go back with the chai latte. Again, that's all going to change. I don't know why I'm fussing. All right, so let's put some of the green along the edge and work. Just want to make sure you can see, because I can see it. Like, I want to just put it along the edge. And I'm literally scraping the edge of my brush on the edge of the door. I'm going to offload some of that. Let's start working a little bit of that. Now, a lot of people like to use their spray bottle, and I went ahead while I was working on the other door and used my spray bottle to help me keep my paint from drying so fast. Problem was, it just was too much water. Even though our bottles are misting bottles, you know, sometimes you just need the smallest amount of water. And then I started reactivating the other coats too, which I did not want to do. I've got to find my travel. I've got like a little, like a travel mister. that, right? It's like a 4 ounce or 3 ounce bottle. That hardly sprays anything. And that's really what I like to use when I'm working on smaller projects. Whoops, I think I lost my green. There we go. Okay. Okay, we're almost out of that. I've been using the chai latte to help me. The chai latte and the cream puff. Whoops. Oh, man. Okay. Did you see what I did? Did not mean to do that, but you know what? It's okay. Because I can always go back over it. It's just paint. Remember that. It's just paint. All right, so hopefully tomorrow we're going to see you on our lives. Every presenter is going to be picking, scrolling at the end of their lives. And we're giving away four prizes because this, right, I'm co-sponsoring this with Digital Decor Designs. She's giving away, like I said, I think she's giving away 2 type of memberships. And I'm gifting 2 $25 gift cards. And we'll be, on Monday, I think we're going to be spinning. The person who's helping us put this on will be spinning a wheel. Whoops. Now I'm just playing because I have paint on my brush. There we go. See, that's the kind of stuff you just keep, maybe working it. I'm kind of taking my damp rag. I could probably take a little bit of water on my brush. Let me try this. I don't know. See, I don't know if I like doing that either. I know a lot of people love to wet their bristles first, but I never have. Not only does it kind of dilute your paint, yeah, it thins the paint is what I should say. Yeah, I didn't like that. I don't like that. But it'll be all right. It's going to dry and it's going to be fine because I'm going to keep layering it. Just not tonight. I have got to get stuff done before the lives tomorrow. Like I said, biggest thing is I have to email Mio, my daughter. We're both going to be on the Paint Pixie page, one after the other. I'm on first and then she goes after me. You'll just have to refresh your browser. But for now, let's just kind of leave it at that. I'll just start. There we go. Yeah, that's much better if I do this. I had even layered the medallion, and the first color I put on it was honeycomb, and then I ended up doing the chocolate souffle and all that to kind of give it a stained look. And I'm actually wet sanding down to the honeycomb. It's really pretty. Even though there's no yellow in my paper, you can barely see it. I mean, it's really pretty. Kind of just gives a little pop of something else. But anyway, I think we're gonna leave it here for now. I just know that I've got to get these, at least get the doors done before we leave We're leaving on Tuesday. At least get my doors done so that I can pick all of this up. Oh, you know what? I think what I'll do is leave. How do I do this? I'm going to let this sit on top for a minute while I say goodbye. Alrighty. I just want to thank you for joining me. I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of how I do a lot of blending on my projects instead of blending colors and mixing colors together. And this will definitely, I'll just keep working and working on these until I'm happy with it, right? But it's so therapeutical. And that's what I love about painting. Like I said, I spent hours on the other panel because I wanted to. I lose myself in this. Matter of fact, I was telling my daughter, I was talking to her earlier today, my daughter Mio, and I said, you know what? I'm going to be 70 in 3 years and I'm tired. I think you need to think about taking the business over. All I want to do is create. I don't want to do the office stuff anymore and all of that, you know, tedious. I just want to have fun. I want to be able to do a live every day and just make something. And I hope that, I hope you can create every day, once a week even, once a week. Anyway, I love you all so much, and I will see you tomorrow at Pacific Standard Time. It's 11:15, 1:15 Central Standard Time, and 2:15 Eastern Time. Have a great evening, everyone, and thank you for joining me.